we got to start with Wolf, Cowden, Gonzalez, that whole thing. Eliot Wolf this morning confirmed that, as Robert Kraft said at the beginning of the summer, they do have a record offer on the table for Christian Gonzalez. There's the record, or one of the records at least, a couple of them, have since been broken once, if not twice, by Denzel Ward and Devin Witherspoon. Eliot Wolf said they do still have a record-breaking offer. Gonzalez was asked about, in what sense, and he didn't really answer the question.
He said there's things in a contract that my team is looking for.
Right,
basically.
yeah, so not setting records across the board. Somewhere, but not everywhere. Ryan Cowden was asked about would they trade him, said they're focused on the contract for now. Gonzalez didn't want to talk much about it. Wolf said that was asked, is he optimistic a deal will get done? He said he's optimistic they're making progress. I would say, well, I don't think there's not going to be a Gonzalez deal. I still think there's a chance he signs for the opener. Today did not help. My feelings on that definitely decreased after everything that happened today. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I've been very optimistic probably this whole offseason, right? Because anytime you talk to any of the guys we talked to today, or even Mike Vrabel, they say Christian Gonzalez is obviously a big part of our defense and our football team and what we want to do, and we want to keep him here as a draft and develop team. I'm still there. I still believe this will get done, but today is the first day where it's like, oh boy, not everything's great. Christian Gonzalez admitted himself there is frustration here that he is not signed.
First time we've heard that.
He said twice, we've had all offseason to get this thing done. Now my focus is on week one. So today I think was the first time my antenna went up a little bit, but I still do think this will get done.
Yeah, the frustration part is obviously what kind of sets it apart, right? Because we haven't necessarily heard that from any of these angles, just that it's going to get done, and what have you. The part as well about the record-setting contract and how even Gonzalez said they want to keep it in-house. Wolf had the opportunity to say, no, I'm not going to talk about it. He did still confirm it. I thought that was a little bit interesting as well. But yeah, it's starting, and I don't think it's ugly yet, but it's starting to kind of get ugly. It's starting to get wishy-washy about, okay, is this going to get done? Is it going to get done before the season? Christian Gonzalez was asked if he would hold out to start the year and not play in week one, and he didn't answer that. He said he's focused on today. So there's still a lot to it. There's layers to this, but no, today definitely did not help anything in that regard.
I feel the same way. The frustration part is really it's starting to leak through, and I think it's more jarring because over the past couple of years under Mike Vrabel, they've been pretty proactive with these deals. Yeah. There's been some extensions that we kind of figured might be down the pipeline, but they came and weren't necessarily reported beforehand. So this is the first time I feel like it's almost kind of bringing back the Judon vibes a little bit. I think that's the last time we covered a situation where Christian Gonzalez is handling this very well. It's not the same thing, but again, it is still getting to the point where the two sides are speaking about it publicly and they're not really on the same page, and it's getting a little awkward. But I also acknowledge every situation is different, every player is different, every agent's different, every contract situation is different. So I'm trying to be mindful of that and not just kind of be reactive that, it's not happening as quickly as we thought. It's not immediately after the Spoon deal like we hoped it would be. I don't think I'm going to shoot my antennas up until we start seeing Gonzo miss practices or it starts affecting his playing time.
And
because
I'll just
the team
add to
has
that real
the
quick.
leverage. Yeah.
Taylor, sorry to cut you off. Gonzalez was asked about the nature of his absence the last 2 weeks and I believe he was asked, was it injury related, was it contract related? And he said he didn't want to talk about it.
Right.
Well, Mike Vrabel told us at least that it was injury related consistently, so we have no reason necessarily to think otherwise unless you do want to read into those comments, which I also think is fair. But yeah, until Gonzo's missing practices or he's not participating in week one, that's where I'm saying, now we're at a breaking point where you either are going to have to make some kind of move or ththings are going to get maybe unsustainably ugly.
Another tough look today too with Gonzalez though. He's sitting there and he's asked about the contract and he says, my team wants certain things in this contract. Probably assume that's a lot of guaranteed money up front. And then he has to stop his press conference because Robert Kraft's helicopter comes in the back and interrupts it. So with all the money that guy has and what this team has, and they don't want to give up the upfront guarantees, that was definitely not a great look.
That took me back to early days on the beat. Anytime there was a big Brady or big Belichick press conference, you knew that helicopter was coming. Not saying it was on purpose. It was just, it's coming and going all the time.
Sure.
It's going to happen. But yeah, I think the big thing now is, regardless of what happens, they need him this year. Mm-hmm. Their defense is built with that kind of shutdown corner, a central part of the plan. And if they ultimately don't get something done this year, I think then next offseason you're going to hear a lot about a trade or something like that. Obviously, they're not going to let him walk, and I understand they have 2 more years of team control, but plus you want to throw a third on there with the franchise tag. they're
sign
going
the guy.
He's going to start getting more. Like right now, he can't miss games. He can't miss games. He can't miss a lot of games because he needs the contract to toll. You start getting there, and it becomes a bigger issue. I'm not saying it's going to get there, but they need him engaged this year.
As you guys all know, as I pull up this ad read, this episode and every episode of Patriots Beat, Patriots Daily, and everything here on the CLNS Media Network is powered by our friends over at Prize Picks. We got big tennis slams. We obviously have the preseason here, and you can get in on all of that action right now on the Prize Picks app. The football preseason, like I said, is here. It wraps up this weekend, and there's no better place to run your game than Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app. We got star players on new teams and a rookie class ready to take over, all while teams get started on the biggest football season yet. Make a lineup with player stats, game picks, winners, spreads, totals, and so much more, all in the same lineup, all on Prize Picks, now available in all 50 states. We'll have a slew of lineups here on the CLNS Media Network for this weekend's game between the Patriots and the Browns. So make sure you keep it here, check it out. And if you want to get in on the action, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $150 instantly in lineups. If you win your first $5 lineup, just download the app today and use code CLNS to get $150 instantly in lineups if you win your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app.
So Taylor, you brought up Friday. I'll even extend it to Sunday. I go back to last year. Kyle Hamilton, thank you. Justin Hamilton's their coach. Kyle Hamilton signed his extension, another record breaker, the day after roster cuts. You know, they're going to be back out here on the field on Monday with that 53-man roster. Now it's go time. Now you're getting ready for Seattle, especially since that game is on Wednesday and not Sunday. It's even more condensed. Last year there were some practices in there that kind of felt like they were in limbo. You don't want him focused on the contract. You want him focused on Seattle. And I know he said he's day-to-day and all that, and he does need to play well this year to get paid. Sauce Gardner kind of, I don't want to say took the year off, but made some business decisions when his contract wasn't done, and he still got paid. So Sunday's an important day, or I should say by Sunday is the timeline for me right now.
I think there's also the fact that the noise is going to get louder every week of the regular season. Now, obviously, because more time is passing, but you're going up against JSN, Brian Thomas, the DK Metcalf. Like, there are a lot of higher caliber receivers at the front of that schedule, and if Gonzo's going out and he's locking them up the way we expect him to, it's going to be really hard for the team not to concede or do something, because then you're going to have fans that are saying, why are you not paying this guy? He's literally showing you week in and week out why he deserves to be paid higher. He's having the best summer that we've seen him have. So I think that's another part of that, where if this does drag on, I think it's going to start getting uglier even quicker.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think we're going to see the best version of Christian Gonzalez we've ever seen in week one. Because that's the showcase game. Not just for the Patriots, for everybody. Well, look, it's the Seahawks, it's the Steelers at home. Then they're at the Jaguars, which we all agree is kind of a tough game. Yeah. And then is week 4.
Brian Thomas Jr. is one of the only players that kind of beat him consistently.
Yeah, but then so week 4 is Buffalo. The point is, that's a tough start. Taylor, you mentioned the noise if he comes out playing very well. What if they start 1-3? And then you have to deal with trade rumors.
And they're still 1-3? Or
well, just in general. Now you have to deal with hearing about, well, do they trade him in season? And they're going to have to start answering those kinds of questions.
Even if they start 1-3 and trade Christian Gonzalez.
I'm not saying they're going to.
No, I know. But if they do,
are the questions going to come up?
I think you have to start talking about trading him if you're 1-3 and you don't have a deal done yet, because then it's like, what the hell is going on, right? If you're a month into the season and you're still having these problems, and then, yes, of course, obviously this conversation comes up, all right, we need to maybe improve our roster. We're not giving up. We're paying A.J. Brown all this money. We made these moves. You can't give up on the season. So at that point, I mean, you're going to have to pay the piper.
So again, we're kind of in crazy world right now. But the reason I go there
yet, yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying what we're talking about right now is crazy world. We're not there yet. But it can get there.
Sure.
Yes. And that's the stakes of what's today, Tuesday. That's the stakes the next 5 days. Is once this gets into the regular season, if he doesn't have a deal, the conversation changes. Mm-hmm. And that's just not somewhere you want to be.
Make sure to subscribe to Patriots Newsfeed on CLNS for all of our behind-the-scenes clips, bloopers, and much more very entertaining content.